Angus Young has spent 5 decades making the earth shake with his guitar. The schoolboy uniform, the duck walk, the solos that seem to erupt from somewhere deep inside him. He's not just a rock guitarist, he's the living definition of what rock and roll was always supposed to feel like. But here's something most fans never stop to consider. Behind all that raw energy is a man with some genuinely controversial opinions about the biggest names in rock history. And when Angus speaks, it's worth listening. AC/DC didn't become one of the best-selling acts of all time by accident. With over 200 million albums sold, and Back in Black standing as one of the highest-selling records ever made, Angus built something rare. A sound so consistent and so committed that it became its own genre. And that same uncompromising standard is exactly how he measures everyone else. Take Led Zeppelin. In interviews, Angus has described seeing them perform live and coming away genuinely underwhelmed. According to his account, the band spent the majority of their set drifting through slow, meandering passages before pulling out crowd-pleasing rock and roll near the end. For someone who treats every minute on stage like it might be his last, that kind of pacing reportedly felt like a betrayal of what live rock should be. He never dismissed their talent, but in his view, talent that doesn't translate into consistent live energy is talent being wasted. Then there's the punk question. When asked about the Ramones and the broader punk wave, Angus reportedly compared their sound to the very first band he played in at age 12, and suggested his 12-year-old self may have had the edge. His frustration wasn't just personal taste. He's been quoted suggesting that some punk musicians couldn't properly tune their instruments, let alone play them, and that attitude was being used as a substitute for actual craft. Whether you agree or not, it reveals something honest about how Angus sees music, as something you earn, not just feel. The Sex Pistols drew similar criticism. Beyond the musical shortcomings he allegedly perceived, Angus took issue with the cultural fallout from their infamous television appearances, where their on-air profanity reportedly contributed to entire rock acts, including AC/DC, being viewed with suspicion by promoters and broadcasters. In his view, that kind of chaos didn't elevate rock, it damaged it. Progressive rock got no mercy either. Bands like Yes, in Angus's estimation, turned music into an intellectual exercise when it was supposed to be a physical one. He reportedly claimed that anyone who sat through a progressive rock set and said they weren't bored at some point simply wasn't being honest with themselves. And Deep Purple, despite their enormous reputation, were dismissed in interviews as lacking the raw originality to stand on their own terms. Perhaps the most surprising target is the Rolling Stones. Angus has acknowledged their early greatness, while also suggesting, in various interviews, that the band drifted away from the raw, blues-rooted sound that made them matter in the first place. He reportedly found their later stylistic shifts unconvincing. A band, in his words, playing outside their strengths. What ties all of this together isn't arrogance, it's conviction. Angus Young has never chased trends, never reinvented AC/DC to stay relevant, and never praised a legend simply because the world expected him to. His standards are the same ones he holds himself to, and that consistency is exactly why his opinions carry weight. If this gave you a fresh look at one of rock's most fascinating minds, hit like and subscribe for more stories that go deeper than the headlines.